glasses is absolutely blinding me. No, we're not gonna do that. Hey guys, so basically I drank a Red Bull at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is always a quality decision. And it made me remember that I have purchased so many books since I started this channel, usually the result of a caffeine-induced high like this one. And I just realized I have not stopped to take stock of any of that. I'm not giving the people what they want, which is book haul videos. I like watching them, you like watching them. Why has it taken me so long to make one? So I have books on my shelf that I have not shown you in videos yet. I have a huge bag here from Readings. And I also have 3 packages from World of Books that I have not opened yet that came in the past week. I'm gonna go through all those on camera now, let you see them. We can remember what I bought and forgot about together. So let's start with stuff I've already shelved, things that are sitting behind me at the moment but haven't been visible yet in other videos, or they just haven't come up in other videos yet. So these 2 books I bought at a store in Fitzroy called The Little Book Room. It is a dedicated kids bookstore. There's one big room, one big really fun room set up of kids books at the back. There's a tiny little shelf of adult books in the middle, and then a huge YA area at the back as well. And I stumbled upon this by chance. I was just in the area and saw a bookstore, thought I would go in, not realizing it was a kids bookstore, but I still did manage to come away with 2 things that I'm pretty excited to read. The first one was something I grabbed from their YA section, and that was House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I had not heard of this book at all, hadn't heard anyone talking about it until I saw it in Reads with Cindy's interview video. She said it was one of the best books she read in 2022, and I was like, okay, hold on, let me jump over to the YA section of the bookstore real quick, which was exactly what I did. The book is a YA horror, which is definitely something that I've been looking to read. So this book is about, I believe, 3 sisters living in Scotland. When they were children, they disappeared for a small amount of time, and they came back changed. Slowly their appearances started changing. They got dark eyes, white hair, live in like the full Targaryen fantasy basically. And now they're teenagers just trying to fit in the normal world that they don't really slot neatly into or understand. And then while they're trying to do that, the youngest sister, I believe it is, goes missing again. And I believe, I'm assuming what's going to happen is that's going to prompt them to investigate what happened to them all those years ago. I know this has fairy tale elements, which is something I always enjoy. It also has, I believe, body horror elements, which is something that can really freak me out sometimes. But it seems like it's in the vein of like the cover, them growing flowers and having like animals and stuff living in their bodies. So creepy, but also kind of beautiful. I'm hoping that will be described in really lovely, flowery, for want of a better word, I hate myself for even saying that, flowery language. And yeah, what I'm looking forward to reading hopefully soon. And something else I managed to find in the little book room on their tiny, like it was like this narrow shelf of adult books, is a book I saw in a lot of people's best books of 2022 as well, actually, and that is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I really wanted to pick this one up from there because it comes in, it's in one of my favorite formats of books, which is like the little hardbacks. I think my 2 favorite book types are little hardbacks, big floppy paperback. Will always go for either of those 2 if I can. Hate everything else in between. And I don't have too much to say about this book because I'm literally trying to go into it as blind as I can. Everyone says that's how you should go into it, so I'm trying my best to keep myself ignorant. Like, look how beautiful it is. Like, It's got the letters, and then he's on top of the column on the spine right there. And the end pages are stunning as well. Like, got all this ocean stuff on it. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with this book. I almost like don't want to read it. It's that beautiful. Speaking of big floppy paperbacks, here are two that I picked up just randomly over the past couple of months. And the first one is Angelica Frankenstein Has Met Her Match by Sally Thorne. And this is a book that, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have that much desire to read, and I'm not sure why I bought it. Well, actually, I know why I bought it. So I made a video in February that should be out by now. I read romance books, which is a genre I don't normally read, as an experiment, because it was February and it was Valentine's Day and all that. And I think I bought this thinking that if I found like a fantasy romance and included that in the video, it would make me, I'd enjoy it more, I'd have a bit of time, like there'd be more chance of me liking it. And then as soon as I got it home, all desire to read this book pretty much disappeared. The reviews of this book as well, sorry, I just burped. The reviews of this book as well are not super great. I think it was at like a 3.3 or something last time I checked on Goodreads, which doesn't preclude me from reading it. Like, you know, some of my favorite books are rated that on Goodreads. I kind of have like quite a weird taste, and I do sometimes end up enjoying books that other people don't. But yeah, ever since I brought it home, I just have been not feeling it. So basically, this book is about Angelica Frankenstein, who is like the sister of Victor. Ever heard of him? She's been assisting with his experiment, and then she's like, hey, I have a crazy idea. What if I used the system you use to make your monster to like make me the perfect husband? Because these guys out here in Geneva or whatever ain't shit. Like, I could make myself the perfect man. And I've got to be honest with you, it does sound a little bit cringe, but I'm willing to read it, give it a chance and formulate my own opinion. And another book I picked up is for another TBR experiment I want to do. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, maybe next month. It's not important when I'm going to do it right now. What's important is what the book is. And the book is Exiles by Jane Harper. This is the most recent book in, I guess it's kind of a series. It's the Aaron Falk detective novels by Jane Harper. This is the most recent one. And weirdly, I haven't actually read any of the others, but I have seen the movie, The Dry, which was based on the first one of these books. I'm hoping that won't come back to bite me when I make the video. This one, I think, is about a woman abandoning her baby and him trying to work out why that may have happened. I'm sorry, I don't have any more information to give about it. You're gonna see me read it in a video, so we'll find out what I think. We'll find out what I think then. Now I think we should get into my bag of books from readings. I'm having this really bad habit at the moment where every time I go into the city, I will wind up there and just spend $100. Just drop a cool $100 on books. So let's see what I picked up last time I was there. I recently made my reading vlog where I read Ninth House. So since I enjoyed that, I did go out and pick up Hellbent. Big floppy paperback again, we love to see it. Wish my copy of Ninth House was this size as well, and websites weren't charging, you know, $100 to get a hold of one, but it is what it is. I guess they're gonna have to just not match until I can justify dropping that kind of money. I won't go too much into the synopsis of this one. You'll know what it is. Alex Stern, back again at Yale. They're literally heading into hell to try to save Darlington. That is what I assume is gonna happen. I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to get to it because I have so many like specific TBR videos planned out, but hopefully soon. I want to get to it while Ninth House is still fresh in my mind. Also, people seem to not like the cover, but I I like the cover. I love the rabbit. It's creepy. It's fun. What else do we have in the bag? Oh, this was a random one. I saw it really cheap at the checkout when I was wrapping up my other purchases. I bought In Cold Blood by Truman Capote for some reason. Well, not for some reason. Okay, so my boyfriend and I have a list of movies we're working through. One of the movies on that list is Capote, because we want to watch all the movies that Philip Seymour Hoffman was in. And obviously in that movie he plays Truman Capote. You may know him as the author of Breakfast at Tiffany's, as the inspiration for the weird neighbor kid in To Kill a Mockingbird, because Harper Lee knew him in real life. And this is kind of like the original true crime book in a way. Capote took like a true crime story, spent 6 years researching it, and presented the story in kind of a novelistic way. So, you know, maybe not the most ethical thing in the world, but certainly did kind of like invent a genre and sounds really interesting. So I'm going to give it a go. Need to read more nonfiction anyway, and reading one that's basically a novel might be a good way to ease myself into it. Oh my god, and from one rabbit cover to another, I am hopefully finally going to read Bunny by Mona Awad. I have wanted to read this book for such a long time. We all know I'm a slut for dark academia. Like, it's who I am. That's my vibe. I work in university admissions. Like, it's my vibe. It's my energy. And I just love weird books. Like, and you know, this is one of those like top tier weird books. It is about a girl who's in a highly selective MFA writing program. I did that, brag. And there's this group of girls, I think, in it, like an insufferable clique of girls who call each other Bunny, and she hates them. And then somehow she ends up getting like in with the bunnies, and I think like a bunch of like horror stuff happens, and it kind of makes her like writing better and stuff. Really, I want to read this one soon. Maybe I'll have to do a vlog of me reading weird books like this, Piranesi, House of Hollow. And honestly, if I don't read this soon, they're gonna come. The hot girl police will come here and tear up my hot girl card. So I've got to make that a priority. Okay, now let's get into some of these packages, shall we? There's 3 we've got to get into. I'll try to cut out most of me opening these because I'm not very, very talented at opening packages. I had to cut out a whole chunk of me opening up How to Sell a Haunted House in my most recent vlog because I was struggling to an embarrassing degree. Okay, I've managed to get these ones out pretty easily. Oh, so this is exciting. The first one I have is a hardcover copy of Sadie, which I just recently read in the reading vlog I did and gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much. I'm so obsessed with it that I was like, I need to buy my own copy. So I did. Oh, and I should mention, all these ones in the packages are from World of Books. So they're people selling their really good quality secondhand books online. So yeah, they're a little like there's a couple of little dents and stuff, but they're otherwise perfect. Yeah, I've gone a little crazy on World of Books lately. I think it's a really handy place to, if I've read a book from the library or I've read like the audio book or something and I decide I want a physical copy, World of Books is a really good place to do that. We got Sadie off there in little hardcover. We love to see it. And another book I read recently, I read the ebook of it and really, really loved it. I'm going to chat more about it in my January and February wrap-up books discussion video, so I won't get into it too much here, is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I loved this book so much. It's so cute, which is a weird thing to say about a horror book, but it's super cute. Gives extreme like Stranger Things vibes. So this book is about two best friends in the 80s, in the middle of the Satanic Panic, which you would know from the last season of Stranger Things. And one of our main characters, Abby, the narrator, after an incident in the woods one night at a sleepover in the summer, starts thinking her best friend Gretchen is possessed by a demon because she's acting extremely weird. And it's one of those stories where we believe Abby because we're seeing the stuff she's seeing and we're inside her head, but none of the adults or even the other teenagers really in her life believe her, and she's just struggling to be like, no guys, I swear she's possessed. And everyone's like, you've just been watching too much, I don't know, 60 Minutes or A Current Affair, whatever whatever the equivalent was back then. I think I want to reread it soon in the physical copy, so I'm glad I now have one. Okay, let's get into the next one. Oh, okay. And the first one in here is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I'm going to be reading this for the same TBR experiment video that I'm going to read Exiles in. Not that I think that will help you guys figure out what it's going to be. It's very specific to myself, but just saying that's why I have it. So I've been curious about these books for quite a while. They do sound very sweet, as much as you can call a book about murder sweet. This is there something wrong with me? But this is about a group of friends living in a retirement village, and I think all their former jobs are connected to solving crime in some way. And so every week on Thursday, they get together and they try to solve murders from the news. But then one day, I believe they find themselves getting caught up in, dog-eared pages. We're so on brand. Sorry, they find themselves caught up in a murder for real, sounds like. So the idea of a group of old people from a retirement home solving murders, yes, 100% sign me up. And the next one is the book I was going to read this month for Kayla from Books and Lala's Buzzword Readathon challenge. I will link her video announcing the words for this year in the description as well, but basically that's a reading challenge that runs for the whole year, and you read a book each month that relates to a specific buzzword that we've been given, and March's word is secret. So I got this lofty ambition in my head that this month I was going to read The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and now I just don't think that's going to happen. I've come up with a backup audio book because I'm lazy. Now I own a copy of it. It is a book I do want to read down the track. I'm glad I got it off World of Books because I believe Donna Tartt really is a questionable person, but she did really snap. I hear when she wrote this, she kind of did invent dark academia when she birthed this bad boy. Well, no, I guess Evelyn Waugh invented dark academia when he wrote Brideshead Revisited, but this kind of took things a little bit further. So it's about a bunch of young people studying classics at, I don't know, is it Harvard? Just says elite New England college, it's probably not named. And my understanding is, I think they get so into Bacchanalia or whatever that they end up murdering one of the members of the group, but I'm not entirely sure. I guess the only way to find out is to read it, but she's a chunky boy and the print is small, and that's a little bit intimidating to me. I think I'm going to have time to read it this month with all the other books I want to read. I don't know, maybe one day if I go on a holiday or something, I feel like this would be a good holiday book to take along. But yeah, we'll read it one day, but not right now. The last one here in actual packaging is also from World of Books, but I have no idea what this is. I don't remember, whatever it is, I don't remember ordering it. So This is going to be a fun one to open up. Blast from the past. Oh, of course. So I recently listened to The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson on audiobook, and same kind of deal with Sadie. I didn't like this quite as much, but I really enjoyed it, and I was like, I would appreciate having a physical copy of this book for when I talk about it. I think it would be really enjoyable to read as a physical book. So if you're not aware, this is basically a retelling or reimagining of Carrie by Stephen King. It is set in a small southern town, and I believe it's Georgia, could be Alabama, I'm not sure. Anyway, they still have segregated proms, even though the school is obviously integrated now. Has to be. But they still have this like tradition, and they use the excuse that it's like tradition to still have segregated proms. And obviously prom plays a big part in the story. If you're familiar with Carrie at all, you will know that. And so basically Maddie, the main character, is biracial, but no one knows that. She's been raised by her dad, who is white and super religious and racist, and he's basically forced her to hide the fact that she is black her entire life. She has to straighten her hair every day before school. She has to wear a whole bunch of sunscreen every day so she doesn't get any darker, basically. And obviously, if you know anything about Carrie, you can kind of assume where the story is going. It's told half from the perspective of the people in the town, like in the past, and half in a podcast about what happens on prom night after the fact. So yeah, what a lovely surprise for myself. I had forgotten I ordered a copy of this. So yeah, very, very happy to now have this in my hands. Okay, well that about does it. That is all the books I have hauled recently. Happy to be able to share them with you guys. If you've picked up any of these, if you've read any of these books, would love to know your thoughts in the comments. If you've hauled any books that you think I might like as well, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really encourages me to keep making content. If you liked, I will hopefully see you in the next one. Stay spooky. Bye.